We are going to start the first panel of the day around the development of wellness in the kingdom, the exact title being Charting Saudi Arabia's Path to Wellness Tourism. And for this, we have three panelists with us. If you want to introduce each other, please, if you want to start, Judith.
Yes, thank you for having us. So my name is Judith. I'm the founder and CEO of Vivere Hospitality and the general manager of Ink Hotel in Dubai.
Hi everyone, my name's Lindsay Madinado, and I'm the Senior Director for Wellness Strategy for Red Sea Global, and I look after our 2 giga projects in the kingdom here.
And for having us, and thank you everyone for being here and attending this important topic. My name is Naib bin Fasla. I'm leading the tourism sector within Ministry of Investment.
Thank you so much everybody for joining us today. So let's get into the topic, because everybody is talking about wellness, but wellness might mean different things to different people. So, Lindsay, I'll start with you, because when we talk about the Red Sea, we are talking about the wellness of tomorrow, new trends, new developments. So, what can you share with us about the new wellness trends in your project or within the country?
Okay, great. So, I think a really great starting foundation for most people to understand who are visiting the kingdom is about Vision 2030. This was something that was initiated in 2018, where the kingdom announced between 5 to 7 giga projects. And what's really important to understand is each of those giga projects represented something very unique. So it was either sports or entertainment, culture, heritage. And one of our giga projects, which is called Amala, was actually pegged as the health and wellness destination in the kingdom. So what does that mean? Well, we've got a master plan of 4,200 square meters. It's built on the wellness tourism framework, so nature and conservation, accessibility to wellness services, both medical and holistic therapies. We have sustainable and regenerative tourism components, sports and activities, and local food and environment. And so we have this project. It's got 12 different assets that will be opening by the end of 2026. And we're welcoming some of the top wellness brands in the world. Like we've signed Clinical Prairie, we've signed Jayasam, we signed Equinox from the States, and we have a couple more to announce over the next couple months that are in LOI HMA phases. But this is really, not only from the assets, but also from the destination itself in terms of outdoor activities and sports and nature. It's going to be the place where people come really to decompress and really focus on their health and well-being and lifestyle.
Okay. So, Judith, let me come to you, because I know Lindsay for many years. She is a dreamer, she creates. But after, people like us, we need to sell it and make it something different that will support as well the bottom line of the different properties, yeah? So, what do you see as the unique selling point of what is being proposed right now or tomorrow on the market compared to some other markets which are already very well known for wellness, like Thailand or other countries like this?
Very good question, thank you. So I believe you have a very unique location and nature element in it. That is an important component. Other than that, you have such a vision and government support that enables to bring those partners, brand and infrastructure and requirements to do this on a very high standard, very high quality level. I think to make it more commercially viable and tap into a wider market, I would say when you plan and execute these projects, targeting tourism, maybe targeting your residents and people who live in the area could be your first customer, even maybe before the tourist arrives here, because you have a population, and the population here is big, and tapping into that market would be also a great testing ground of the success of these kind of activities and wellness packages and projects within those hotels.
Which is very true, because that's, again, a strength of the country, that many people who look at the Middle East as one destination keep on forgetting about Saudi. But let's say you have around 35 million people living in the country, which is the biggest population that you have in the whole Middle East. And when we're talking right now about the hundreds of millions of visitors, you have to remember that more than 3/4 of them are actually local visitors going around, discovering the country or their own country even further. So lots of opportunities for business as well. Very true. So, you know, when we talk about business, we always need help, support from the government, yeah? And as a representative from the Ministry of Investment, what kind of government initiatives can you share with us which will be supporting or which are supporting right now some of the wellness tourism initiatives?
Actually, if you just allow me, Bastian, to take you and the audience back when Vision 2030 launched, we aim to diversify our economy, reduce the dependency on the oil, and of course we want to focus on the key sectors like tourism. So we have done several initiatives in terms of incentives, fund, promotion. If we talk about each support, we start with incentive. We work closely with Ministry of Tourism, and they created an incentive package for the hospitality, of course, including wellness tourism. Also in terms of, it can be CAPEX or OPEX, cash or non-cash. Also OPEX can be salary support, training, other benefits, just to reach our target. Also, in terms of Tourism Development Fund, this fund was established in 2020 with capital of $4 billion US, and they are there to support the investors who focus on tourism-related projects. So other thing is streamline the e-visa. I'm sure everyone here have been experienced this, and you can get your visa for the visitor within 5 minutes. So I think this is the easiest process for getting visa. Also, for the investor, if the investor would like to get a visa, can get it within 24 hours as well. The most importantly is 100 ownership for the foreign investment. So before we did it last year. So we welcome any investor to come and own any assets here in Saudi Arabia. Also, we do promoting, marketing our destination. Saudi Tourism Authority, who owns the Visit Saudi brand, they promote our destination everywhere. They host a major event like a Spanish Super Cup, Italian Super Cup, work with the Real Season, which will attract a lot of visitors who want to come and experience wellness tourism. We want to make sure, we want to provide the world-class services for them.
Yeah, it's always good to remind as well the people that TDF, everybody thinks about hotels development when they think about TDF, but TDF has been supporting as well some destination development, restaurant development, wellness development as well. So really lots of opportunities for the country. I'll come back to you, Lindsay, because again, in the name it says Red Sea. Everybody, when they read Red Sea Global, they forget about Amala. But Amala is supposed to be the wellness-driven destination of the country. But at the same time, in every single conversation, every single panel that we have had over the past couple of days, everybody is talking about the importance of having a strong local DNA, a strong local identity. Could you give us some examples within the services that will be provided, either Red Sea or in Amala, that will be really linked to this Saudi DNA?
So I think, we're working with a lot of our operators. It's in the hands of, from a destination perspective, we're the developer and we're leading the development. We hire the operators to come on, and it's our responsibility to work with the operators and help them to understand the Saudi culture. Judith and I were just talking about this earlier. There's a lot of people that want to do business in the kingdom, and they don't really understand it. And so they want to do it from Dubai, where they're comfortable, or from Europe. And really our message is, come here to the kingdom and understand what's happening. Understand and embrace Vision 2030. And start to embrace what's, we call this, the Saudis call it hafawa, right? And it's Saudi hospitality, and it's exactly what it is. It's a very humble and kind culture, and there's a hospitality that can be captured that I feel is very cultural. It's something that I've experienced in my time here, and I love it. It's one of the reasons I like being here is the hafawa and the hospitality of the Saudi culture. And I think that we need to continue to embrace that and make sure that that shows up. Throughout our projects within Amala, we have 4 master plans. One of them is completely dedicated to arts and culture. It's in its master planning phases right now, so we don't have too much confirmed information on it, but it's all about creating arts villages and culture, and it's different to Alula, so each of these gigaprojects have a different flavor. So that would be one example of it. We also, within Red Sea Global and within the kingdom, you have Saudiization, and so, we are here to upskill some of the talent and embrace that. And we've got 40% of our work culture right now, which are Saudi nationals working with us, and they're so passionate about ensuring that that Saudi footprint is part of that DNA, which in some countries in the Middle East, they've lost that. It's become so international. And so I think that's one of the big differentiators for Saudi in general, is making sure that we keep this footprint of the culture and the heritage, and that there's an evolution, and that the world sees that, Saudi is open and it's evolving.
I'll stay with you for the next question, because you started talking about it, so let's carry on. About the workforce. So, in this discipline, in the wellness discipline, is like in many of the other disciplines in the kingdom right now, the number of programs or the number of people who are graduated from those programs is still not large enough compared to the number of people that we need to employ in different projects.
Yeah.
For wellness, it's even worse, because there is an element of really technicality, let's call it that way. Plus, there is an element as well of physical contact. How do you address this within the trainings or the workforce development that you're doing at Red Sea?
So part of our strategy, we've worked with our educators within Red Sea Global, but we've also worked with the Human Development Fund, which also supports the Quality of Life program, which Naif can talk more about, and I think it's a fundamental part to understanding how we're developing Saudi as a country. One of our initiatives is that we worked with Baderji Medical College in Jeddah, and we set up a 2-year health and wellness tourism program for Saudi nationals that's funded by the Human Development Fund, as an initiative to try to get people more engaged within health and wellness tourism, but to also upskill them, so that when we go, we promise them jobs, actually. So each of those 200 graduates, 150 graduates, will actually have jobs with us afterwards. So that means that we have people who are trained already within health and wellness that we'll be able to welcome into our hotels. The second initiative that we're looking at right now, and it's in phase 1 of the project, and it's more from an international perspective. We understand as a developer, we're building a wellness destination, and it's not just like employing somebody to do a spa treatment, which can be a little less technical, I think, in some of the hospitality operators. And so what we're trying to do is, at least we're in the exploratory phase of evaluating phase 1 and building our own school. And so we would be working with the operators in order to provide Sedesco type training, which is a European UK Sedesco training, with very specific modules to take existing therapists that we would hire from outside the country or within the country. We're starting to see some interest from Saudis who actually want to get into that space, so that's growing. I don't have a percentage for you, but it is growing. And we would upskill them, and then the operators would be able to take them back and use them within their hotels. So we understand that there's going to be a complexity of welcoming people into the country, finding the dedicated talent that you need for a wellness, dedicated health and wellness destination or property. And so we're doing our part to explore that and see what the feasibility is and see what the interest from the operators is. Because we also understand that if we don't have the engagement from the operators, it's not going to be able to work. So we're definitely exploring different initiatives. We've been speaking with Technogym as well about doing something again with the Human Development Fund on training fitness trainers. Fitness is a huge industry here, physical activity, so we already have an existing group of talented Saudi fitness trainers, so how could we do potentially a partnership with Technogym, upskill that talent, and really have incredible talent for our hotels. So there's a lot of different initiatives other than just building and bringing on operators, but it's more about how do we make this work as well.
Nice, that sounds very exciting, especially the program in Jeddah. I need to go next time I visit Jeddah. Naif, let me come back to you, because when we hear everything that Lindsay is doing and she wants to develop, and when we think Ministry of Investment, everybody is thinking, okay, how come the Ministry of Investment can help me to get in the country? But in reality, to support all of this, you need to build the whole ecosystem locally as well. So when we're talking about ingredients or product, for instance, you have the honey, you have the dates, and many others that can be used as well within the wellness industry. What is the Ministry of Investment doing in order to support those small and medium enterprises to adapt, to develop their quality and their infrastructure in order to match the needs of all those new projects?
Well, as part of government initiative that we already spoke about it, we now developed an academy, hospitality academy, that's including wellness tourism and other services, spa, yoga, and some other things. We send the people to the best hospitality academies around the world to come up with the know-how and understand the market, because now there is a demand, and it's going to be within 3 years higher than now, as Ms. Lindsay talking about Red Sea, Amala, and Neom. That will provide the world-class services, and we need to make sure we cater the needs of the visitors, and also bring the top players around the world, because we are not mature in this industry. We need know-how from outside. We will facilitate their coming, and we would love to help them and support them. If there is anything we can do, yes, we will do it. Also, there is going to be an impact on SME, the business local investor who provide the products that can serve people here, or the visitor who come to Saudi Arabia, and also other companies who are working in this industry.
Let's come to you. So you're working with different investors, different owners, not everybody is a main project with millions to invest. How independent owners look at investments in terms of wellness?
Wellness is always a tricky thing when it's a standalone hotel brand or an owner with a single property or very few properties, because this is the last bit that is standing out from the rest. The main focus usually is the rooms, secondarily the F&B, and then wellness is always left behind a little bit. And there's two reasons for it. One, it is a new thing and people not familiar with it. Whether it's an owner or investor, it is not their priority, and they don't know the know-how, as you guys mentioned, the know-how, the knowledge, the training, what's behind it. They lack of that, so it is either a scary area that they don't want to touch because they don't want to invest and then not get returns, or it is an area where they just not have a space or opportunity to include it within their projects. Now, based on my experience, what we always recommend is, if you have a space and able to implement the wellness within your property, engage with an operator who has the know-how, whether it's an existing fitness, wellness, spa brand who already owns or operates many properties like this. The best way is to give it to them and leave it with them.
You mean kind of a lease or third-party agreement?
Yes,
Well,
exactly. So if you are able to accommodate a space within your concept or property where you can dedicate space for this, and you don't have the team and the know-how, give it to a third-party operator as a lease structure or just a revenue share, or bring a brand in, but bring somebody in who has already multiple locations, and the actual proof of concept is done. So I wouldn't recommend someone just to start, testing it out. Or if you have an operator who is familiar with this kind of operation and able to run a spa service or well-being service, and they have results, they have plans, and they can run it internally, then leave it with them. So it is a tricky area for that segment where you have these small and medium properties. You don't have those big groups and investments behind you. You don't have that kind of expertise. It's really for them to seek advice from consultancy and look at best practices. And I would recommend for everyone to keep it within the property, because even if it's just a small spa or treatment room, but people need this. It's part of life, it's part of well-being, especially when people travel, they stay in hotels, they will use and need these services. So even if it's a small property, even if it's just, like not a main destination, including it in some ways in the property and in the concept, it can be definitely beneficial.
I was looking at Lindsay because what you describe, it's her life. She's been spending the past years always reminding this to the people investing in properties, or even to the operators. But to come back to your point as well regarding having a space, working with third party. I think there is an element which is important taking into account for independent owners is to involve people like you, people like third-party operators at the beginning of the project. Because the number of projects that I'm sure you have seen, I've seen as well, where they say, yes, we have a treatment room. Okay, can I see? You open the door, you're like hitting the bed straight away, and there is no water area, there is nothing. So the earliest people are able to engage with third-party operators or partners like you, the better their final product will be, hence better ROI they will be able to generate, yeah?
Absolutely agree with you. It has to be done from the beginning as the planning stage. Same as we talked about this, touched on this point yesterday about F&B. It has to be planned from the beginning as part of the property, as part of the full concept. You can't leave it at the end that, yes, I still have a rooftop or a basement space, let's make a gym. It doesn't work anymore. And the travelers today, more people live and lead a very healthy lifestyle compared to 5 or 10 years ago. We are more educated, people are more into sports, you see more and more gyms, Pilates, spa facilities across here as well. When I arrived, I looked up the Google map around my hotel, I've seen spas, Pilates, gym. I was like, wow, this is amazing to see, because that means these concepts are popping up independent local brands, but the need for it and the demand is there, because I see it everywhere on the Google map, which is a very positive sign. So hotel owners, investors must think the same way, that this is part of our culture as humans in this age. We do exercise, we focus on healthy lifestyle, so this is an area where I believe it's just going to even grow more and more in the future.
I promise I'm trying. So when talking about this as well, you talk about lots of brands who want to come into the market, but not systematically, as Lindsay mentioned, that understand the market or take the time to understand the market. Lindsay, the question is for you. If right now somebody in the room comes to see you and says, what are the top 3 international brands that for you are well set to make a difference in the market, what would they be?
That's an interesting question, because I'm not sure that there's just one answer for that. I released something on my LinkedIn today about SBE hotels, lifestyle, hospitality. They're launching a new brand called The Estate. Now, they're not, I tend to divide hospitality into 2 divisions. One is hospitality wellness, where hospitality is the driver, so it might be your more traditional Four Seasons, Rosewood, etc. And then wellness hospitality, where wellness is a key driver, where we don't need to, where we understand that that is the reason, the sole reason that people are, the primary reason that they're coming. So that might be a Clinique La Prairie, a Chanel, a Shiva Sum, etc. SBE traditionally has been a lifestyle brand. It's a traditional hospitality, and they're disrupting the market. They're coming in with a new brand that's wellness. It's got luxury hospitality. It's got wellness communities and residential, and then it's got a wellness offer as well. And their whole thing is, it's not just about going to a wellness retreat once a year and being good once a year. It's about having that constantly, and having that accessible to you. I think the challenge that we have with luxury hospitality brands, where hospitality is the key driver, is that they don't understand the wellness business. They don't understand the profit model. The profit model's broken, if I'm honest. I worked for luxury hospitality brands for ages, and they would always come to us and say, well, this doesn't work, spa doesn't work. Well, it's because the profit model's broken and you're dumping everything into rooms, and so the spa is just kind of hanging there trying to survive. Whereas wellness hospitality, wellness is a key driver. So the profit model's there, it's fixed. You don't go to these places and book a hotel room and then book your package. You book your package, and your hotel room is, so it's almost a completely different profit model. So what we're finding is that the luxury hospitality doesn't know how to implement wellness efficiently from a profitability perspective, because they're so focused on the average daily rate. And then you have your wellness hospitality who actually understands that model and can drive it, but they don't necessarily have the hospitality experience. And so I don't know that there's an answer that just one group is out there. I would say that Chanel is a very admirable brand. Lucky part of my job is that I get to go and experience all of these brands and go on retreats, but I also get to dig into their business and understand, what works and what doesn't work, and Chanel has been a phenomenal experience for me. They understand both hospitality, but they also understand how to drive revenue. So I think that would be one of the key brands that I would focus on right now.
But I like what you said about the operators building everything based on the rooms and forgetting about the spa. So we have an operator, so let's ask her. How would you build, or how do you build wellness programs which are really complementing the revenue of your hotel and not consider as an add-on for later, which Lindsay will not let you have?
Yes, I would bring an example when we had it was a 5-star luxury property with a gym. The gym intended to, and a spa as well. The gym intended to be for the use of the hotel guest, which you can imagine, like it's not fully packed every day. Not every hotel guest go to work out every day. So the gym was like not utilized fully. However, it was built up to a 5-star standard, perfectly nicely done, professional trainers, everything that you can wish for. So my role was there is really to transform it into a commercially viable operation, and then so we started opening up memberships for the general public. So let's target the residents, let's target the footfall around the surrounding area, not just the hotel guests, because the hotel guests will anyways have access to this facility for free of charge, right? So implementing memberships and opening it up for residents, it started to boost the revenues and the income and the profitability of that space. And then adding to it, moreover, we started introducing corporate wellness programs where we target companies and organizations to give this either as a benefit to their employees, so they have access to this fitness facility, or just to develop their own programs that they want to launch and introduce to their executives. So we created a program where we work together with the personal trainers from the gym, doing in-body assessments and you know, writing the training programs and preparing these programs for these executives. However, we also brought in a clinic and a nutritionist. So there was a blood test, there was a checkup on the health level, there was like a nutritionist based on that, creating a program for a meal plan for everyone. So this way, we hold this group together, hold their hands step by step, week by week, month by month. There was assessments, and interesting enough, this company is a large telecommunication company. They linked their KPI performance for these executives. This is VPs of the entire company. So if their corporate wellness program scores are not improving, that is impacting their KPI and their bonus. So you can imagine everybody was very busy going to the gym, but it makes sense, it worked, you know, because some people don't need so much encouragement. They enjoy going to gym and very receptive for healthy lifestyle. Some people not that much, but they not just only created an opportunity to improve the life and health of these people, but they became stronger as a team. Because they were together, they had to exercise. It's also ticking a box of a team building. So tapping into, as a hotel, into a market of corporate wellness or residents or companies around the property is a very, very good option, financially beneficial for the property.
And to segue from Lindsay's point, please go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to add to that. I have one word, and I agree totally with what you said, and the one word I would say is collaboration. And Six Senses is a brand that does that really, really well. You know, their partnership with Sanctum that they did at their Ibiza property, and they brought people in, and they started with retreats, and they did, here in Saudi, they did Life Lab and Co. They're constantly searching for really great collaborations that will be attractive to both a luxury traveler, but also for a bespoke wellness. So I think they've also just launched something with a sports expert, Citus, I think, sports. And it's sports retreats, and they're launching this at their Ibiza property again. And so if you can do really great collaborations, I know Raksa Wellness in Thailand did a partnership with Deepak Chopra. They opened just after COVID. They had a hard time gaining momentum in the industry. And I could see they did this huge partnership, 1-week retreat with Deepak Chopra, and boom, all of a sudden they've got visibility. They're attracting a huge name for a good price, and you know, it was able to gain visibility. So I think collaboration is also very important. It's got to be strategic, it's got to be interesting, it's got to be relevant, but using big names to build your brand and your brand equity, especially if you're new in the market, is also a really good way to put heads on beds, I guess, in the luxury hospitality model.
And I wanted to mention that what you said earlier about the rooms forgetting the rest, It's very true, and the example that Judith just gave is very important, because at the end of the day, it's about the optimization of the return you get for the investors on the square meterage. Yeah. So very often the hoteliers are only thinking about their RevPAR or their ADR or their occupancy, and many of them, even today, I've seen an example yesterday, I saw an example yesterday, are not focused enough on the total revenue generated, or the TRevPAR, or total revenue generated by the property, and also looking at the revenue per square meter, because that's a statistic that's more used in the malls or in some other developments, and the hoteliers are still not using it sufficiently, which means that after you end up with things which are forgotten, because it's not a KPI of many of the leaders. Yeah. As you know, we used to do this in the past. So, Naif, let me come back to you. All those things are going to develop beautiful destinations throughout your country. We discussed this. I had the chance to visit the country from north to south, to east to west. I've been to many of those places which are still beautiful and natural. Within the way you're supporting the investment in the country, do you include the sustainability element in how you're assessing which project you are supporting? Because when you're talking about the sustainability and the impact on the environment, some projects can be really supportive, some a bit less. How do you look at it from the Ministry of Investment standpoint?
Well, we look at it from the government view, not only Ministry of Investment. We have launched Saudi Green Initiative that can preserve the landscape nature, just to maintain our rich cultural and diversification topography in Saudi Arabia, to make sure it's still virgin. And when Red Sea did their projects, the area was virgin and now became amazing, and it will be outstanding the next couple of years. And Ministry of Investment, we do assessment across the kingdom. We identify the gaps. We develop opportunities in Asir, Al-Ula, Eastern Province, also Al-Ahsa. We came up with the investment opportunities in every sectors, including tourism and the quality of life, which you just mentioned about sport. And quality of life is tourism and sport, culture and entertainment. So we identify the opportunity in entertainment, sport, culture and tourism. We promote it through the Invest Saudi platform that we own it as a Ministry of Investment, the brand of our ministry. So investors can apply through the platform, can see where they can find themselves and apply for this investment opportunities, and we can take it from there.
Thank you. Lindsay, I'll come back to you. You hinted to it a bit before when you talk about the workforce development and so on. But a project like yours and like all those projects which are being done throughout the kingdom have a huge impact or economic benefit to the community as well where they are being developed. Could you share with us some of the benefits or economical impact that have taken place with the Red Sea project?
I can speak on behalf of our destinations. Our destinations at the moment, both Red Sea and Amala, don't necessarily have huge surrounding communities. There are communities, but it's not big cities around us, so they're quite remote areas. But we are, Red Sea Global as a developer, we are a sustainable developer. And in terms of impact on people and planet, and our approach and what we've been able to achieve so far has been phenomenal. It's one of the reasons that I joined Red Sea. Both of our projects actually, upon completion, will be 100% renewable energy. So at the moment, if you fly over into Red Sea International Airport, which is one of our new airports that we've just built, there's over 750,000 solar panels that will be fueling both of these destinations. We've also increased land vegetation by almost 30% through our mangrove planting initiatives. We also have conservation projects that we're working on. And we also have social development. We have an entire social development program. But part of that development of the surrounding communities has also been the upgrading of some of our airports. So Al-Waj Airport was a smaller airport. We want to be able to welcome larger aircrafts and more people to it, so that is part of a development program. We also have our hospitality school with the Red Sea Academy, where we've put, again, with the Human Development Fund, we've put 800 graduates through that we've all been able to provide jobs for afterwards. So when we look at it holistically from both a people and planet perspective, those are literally just some of the initiatives that we're doing. It's amazing when you dig into Red Sea Global, the layer and layer and layer of commitment that sustainability and regeneration means, not only to the surrounding communities, but also to the tourism model. And I think it's really admirable what we're doing, and very exciting as well. Even our airport is going to be off-grid, which, where else in the world are they able to make that type of commitment? All of our buildings are built to LEED Platinum, and we've been able to achieve that up to 80 to 100% of any of the buildings we've built so far. So I feel like, Saudi Arabia in general is waving the sustainability flag. We've got 60% of the population that's under the age of 30, and that says a lot about that generation and what that generation wants in terms of the future. And I believe that they're helping also to push some of that change and initiative as well.
Definitely, and you're one of the projects, in terms of the project, you're one of the leaders in terms of sustainability for sure. Yeah? Everybody is watching you and following you. So
almost 150 environmental and sustainability experts that sit at the forefront of every single one of our projects. They're on our master plan calls, they're on operator calls, they're literally there to help steer us, and they also will be helping to support the operators. So if for any reason we have operators who aren't in line with the compliance of sustainability, or aren't necessarily, that's not one of their key practices, we'll be there in order to support and leverage that sustainability. So highly committed to sustainability and regenerative tourism.
Yeah, so you're providing employment, you're providing cleaner energy, you're providing less wastage for the country as well with development of this program, and so huge impact, huge impact. So, Judith, I'm sorry, but I have to ask you this question because I cannot ask it to the ministry, I cannot ask it to the Red Sea Global, so you're the only non-governmental, in a way or another, entity. So what are the challenges for you? Because we have talked about all the good things which are coming, we are talking about all the good work which is done to try to support it, but where do you see challenges that you need to keep an eye on that could happen within the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
From an operator perspective, okay. Just to clarify, yes. Which kind of challenges?
From the operator.
Okay, good. So from operator perspective, is obviously this is my first time here, as we discussed, and I'm gaining the experience, getting to learn about the place. I think stepping into it and be here and establish companies here and connect with the government and with these projects in a way where we can actually pick up the speed and be part of it. I could foresee this because so far I've seen a lot of initiatives, a lot of websites, a lot of funds, a lot of investments, a lot of things, but as myself and I think many other new operators who want to enter to this market, we don't exactly fully know where to start or how to connect. And I think not to miss out opportunities for the operators and businesses to come in, but also those who are here and developing these giga projects, for them also it's important to find the good ones. You also want to be selective and find the right operator, the right partner to go with you and go on your speed in these projects. So I think to manage that part well and to align, I think that's a very critical point. I don't necessarily see it as a big challenge at this stage because the communication is very clear. There is a lot of website information and we hear it past 3 days. We've been hearing it so many times. I think it's just to tap into it in a way and make it very accessible. I think that's very important to highlight.
Naif will make sure he makes it accessible.
Yeah, actually, we're good at as a matchmaker. We can bring the operator with the local investor, or even foreign investor, can be capital fund or something like that. We try to make sure we bring the operator with the right concept. So if we have a concept A, and the operator fit for concept B, no, we don't call them and bring them just waste of the operator time or our time or the other time. Just we make sure we develop the opportunity, we provide it to the investor, and we bring the right operator. If you have any challenges, this is our mandate.
Great
We
to
are
know.
here to support.
Sorted.
Thank you for
Anything
sealing the
else?
deal.
You should apply for the license tomorrow after that.
Maybe today.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there
It
is still
sounds
time.
amazing.
Yeah.
However, I wanted to highlight just 2 points, which I was very happy to hear it as an operator. One is that you are taking care of education, and you're building a school, and you're bringing the education element to it. And secondly, that you are actually making this available to the operator and work it out in collaboration and partnership with an operator to have the educated workforce ready once you open and these operators come in. I think that's very unique. Almost I haven't seen it anywhere else, this kind of setup, and super excited from an operator perspective to have such opportunities. Thank you.
It was mentioned actually by the director of UNWTO office in Riyadh. Is the only country in the world where they are based, where there is so much complementary education provided to the nationals, and that will make a huge difference to support the acceleration. That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay, so let's look at the audience. Do we have any question within the audience to our panelists? Please put your hand up. Any questions? It's now or never. One question there, please. Get the mic. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. This question goes to Lindsay. I would just you were talking about the wellness industry in Saudi as a whole. So what is the market size currently, and what is the market size that you're looking at? Is there any estimate from the government side or from the Red Sea's perspective, probably say by 2030?
So I don't have those statistics for you today, but we're waiting to release a report on the geography of wellness for Saudi Arabia. So we work with the Global Wellness Institute, which most of you will know. It's where all of the global economy of wellness numbers are coming from. One of our initiatives this year that we did is we sponsored the geography of wellness report for Saudi Arabia. The reason that we did that is because, first of all, Amala is flagged as the wellness project, and we wanted to make sure that we could hold that torch, and we want to be able to communicate. But also, we wanted to look at Saudi as a case study, where Saudi is today. We're not holding a flag saying we're the most, the wellness economy is huge and everybody wants to come here for wellness. But with the growth that you see just in our gigaprojects alone, by 2026 we'll have 26 new hotels. All of them will be either a dedicated wellness hotel, we'll have a fitness center, or we'll have a spa. That is going to exponentially increase the wellness economy in general. The top 3 economies that we know from the research that we've done today in Saudi Arabia are, the top economies are weight loss, which could be debatable today what weight loss consists of, if it's medical or if it's actually part of a detox program. Healthy eating. Physical activity is number 2. And number 3 is personal care. Spas is actually quite low on the list, what I'm anticipating is that we're going to see that growth increase, because I think that it already exists here, but there's just probably some gray space over it. And so we're planning on doing that case study report every 2 years at least, to just measure the growth of the wellness economy through sports, through fitness, through beauty, through aesthetics, through all of those different components of the economy, just to see year on year what it's increasing. But since 2020 was the only year that we saw a decrease in the wellness economy in general. Every other year we've seen a growth year on year. So I think we're going to see more significant, the more tourists that come in and the more locals that start traveling, specifically to Amala, because there's so many locals that are so excited, like now I don't have to go to Switzerland to do it, I can go to Amala. And I think Amala is such a beautiful place, a beautiful climate. It's got the ocean, it's got the sea, it's got the mountains. It's very much like the Oman coasts. And so it's a place that people are going to want to come. So I think we're going to see an increase in that economy for sure.
So keep on watching. The report will be out within a couple of weeks or so. Another question?
My name is Dr. Ajmal. My question is to Mr. Naif. I'm an alternative medical practitioner. I've been practicing for the last 20 years. And the ultimate benefit for the spa...
Cannot hear.
Continue. Yeah. The ultimate benefit from a spa to the citizen should be the preventive health care. So what would you do for the citizens to make them aware about the preventive health care? This is my question.
Sort of.
So we are talking about wellness, and within the kingdom, like for instance with the Kaini project as well, which is one of the PIF projects or companies, you're talking about preventive, or they are talking about preventive healthcare. So it's not just going to a wellness in the sense of a spa and to relax, but preventive healthcare in order to make the life healthier, which has a positive impact after on your spendings into hospitals and all medically driven expenses. The question was for Ministry of Investment. Is the Ministry of Investment supporting some preventive
in Ministry of Investment and Investment Attraction Deputyship, we have 22 sectors. One of them is healthcare. So I think this question should go to them directly. I can link you up with them, and they will answer any inquiries or any question that you want to ask for them. Because I think your question and the information that you need fall under their sectors.
And I will invite you to Google Kayani.
And I'll meet you after this session. I can exchange with you my business.
Thank you so much.
So Google Kayani, which is one of the PIF companies, focused on the preventive care and health and healthy eating, specifically for women in Saudi right now.
Thank you, sir.
And sorry, we couldn't hear your question. Any other question in the crowd? Anybody else? I think we have reached one more question. Let's do one more, and then we'll let our panelists go.
Hi, I have a question about spas and wellness. Is Red Sea looking at other international brands from Asia or from the US, for example, like Burke Williams, to come into the market here in Saudi?
Sorry, I had a hard time here. Was the question, is Saudi looking for brands in...
Is developing in Asia as well, because Red Sea Global, the name was changed because the project was thinking about having a global impact, and the question there was about, are you developing some wellness concept or supporting wellness concept development in Asia as well?
I can't speak about anything outside of the kingdom right now, but we are looking at potentially building something ourselves.
Stay tuned. Thank you very much. A big applause for all our panelists.
Thank you so much.